Hello! You are watching the Video Voters Guide, organized by the League of Women Voters of Portland. All candidates who filed for this race were invited to participate in the Video Voters Guide. However, there are many reasons during a campaign why a candidate may be unable to appear. For comprehensive coverage by the League, including information on candidates who might not have been available for a video interview, visit vote411.org. Information is available in both English and Spanish. Candidates may choose to include additional information on Vote 411, such as their own YouTube videos. Watch, share, and be an informed voter.
Hello, this is Haley McLaughlin with the League of Women Voters of Portland. And with me today is Kevin McPherson, running for Riverdale School District 51J, Position 5 in the May 18th special election. Welcome, Kevin.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. To get us started, what does being a supporter of public education mean to you?
It's a great question. In a phrase, I would say it is providing equal access, right? That it's this public contract that no matter who you are, where you came from, what challenges you may have, that you are entitled to a quality public education in your primary grades. I underscore the word quality education. It's something that, quite frankly, is rooted deep in my family. So you can go to my website and read all about me. It's electkevin4 Riverdale.com. But just a brief overview. My grandmother was actually a grade school principal. Both of my parents were educators. My sister currently is a teacher. My wife, whose family immigrated here into the US in the early 70s, her father he retired, but he was a college professor. So this idea of uplifting kids through education, and that allows them to essentially become productive citizens and go in whatever direction they want, is something that's really ingrained in my family. And so I'm happy to support it. And it's one of the reasons why I raised my hand to be part of the school board. So just very quickly, this opportunity to join the Riverdale School Board became available because a prior school board member had left the district. So the call went out for volunteers to essentially to take the remainder of that seat, which is through the end of June. While being in the seat, I found how effective you can be as a school board member, really creating that opportunity. And as a result, I'm running for the next 4 years. So that's the background on that.
What do you think is the biggest challenge facing our public schools right now, and what is your plan to address it?
There are 3 very immediate challenges. 2, I think, are more Riverdale specific. So job 1 for all school boards are get the kids back into school, full stop. COVID has disproportionately affected kids. And at the end of the day, right, those kids need to be back in front of the instructor who understands what their needs, the goals should be, and get the job done. Now, specifically to Riverdale, we have in-district parents and families. We have out-of-district families as well. And so some of those parents, need the kids to be back because, quite frankly, the kids don't have a dedicated, quiet space to engage in learning. So, number 1, get the kids back in school. Secondly, looking at, I'll call it culture and inclusiveness. So we've had some incidences here at Riverdale that came to light over the summer regarding racism, sexism, and bullying. We need to create an environment that allows kids to come back to school in a safe manner, right? And I, along with some other board members, have pushed this administration to really do two things. One is focus on that from a curriculum perspective. So they've been able to accomplish some additional tweaking to the curriculum so that all kids see themselves in the literature that they're reading. We've adopted a program called No Place for Hate, but we're also doing some work on the administrative side as well, whether that's looking at our policies and administrative procedures to ensure that if an incident does occur, that it's dealt with, sending the message to these kids that this is a safe place. And then lastly, looking at stability of staffing. I've been with Riverdale and involved with the Riverdale family for 13 years. We've had 15 people serve in administrative roles, either as superintendent, grade school principal, or high school principal. We're currently in an environment where our superintendent is an interim superintendent. We're currently in an environment where our grade school principal is taking a leave of absence. We need to ensure that we have continuity in those positions so that these kids get the education that they deserve. One last point on that piece, which is I'm proud of the fact that myself, along with the board and this administration, are one of the first school districts to actually go to full day instruction for K through 8. So we've been able to accomplish that. We're working on the high school, but absolutely, those are the first three things that we need to get done.
Great. How are our schools planning to ensure that students graduate with the knowledge and skills they need to be college and career ready?
Here at Riverdale, give you a little bit of background. We have 650 kids. About 250 of those, or 220 of those kids are actually at the high school. So it is a very small high school in the Portland metro area. A lot of people are attracted to that because of the small student to teacher ratio, but that also poses a problem because we have limited resources and we need to make sure that those resources are actually deployed effectively. One of the things that I've done as a board member is call for a listening session to make sure that the direction that we're spending the monies and the resources is in line with the interest of our Riverdale community. So I would personally love to see Riverdale be positioned as a college prep public institution focusing on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. That's not to say we should do it at the extent of arts and other areas, but I think given where we are, given our niche, I think that's where we should essentially carve out, if you will, our uniqueness and our approach for Riverdale.
And briefly, what district actions do you believe would be most effective at reducing the learning gaps for minorities? Are there partnerships you would use to reduce those gaps?
Yeah, so there's something I'm very passionate about. I think I'm the first person of color to run for the Riverdale School Board. So it is something I'm extraordinarily passionate about. But if I may, I want to broaden that out because even though I'm personally invested in the success of minorities, I'm personally invested in the success of all kids, right? Period, irrespective of their ethnicity, their background, et cetera. So when we look at that area, what can we do? And I would say, one, it's pushing the administration to make sure that we fully fund special education. So individual educational programs, 504 programs, which are essentially for individuals that need some additional assistance. And we have a pretty robust program there, but I want to make sure that we continue to make that investment. We also have kids, as I mentioned, in this world of online learning who unfortunately weren't able to absorb what the lessons, right, because of the environment. We're pushing the administration to explore summer school for these kids. So in the fall, when they have, when they come back in the fall, that they're back up to grade level. No one wants them to start at a deficit. So very passionate about that. And then coming back to this idea of making sure that this school is in fact safe. So I personally sit on the board with another board member at Riverdale on the equity team for the Multnomah Educational School District. And we get to hear and see how other schools in the Multnomah County area are actually implementing kind of diversity and inclusion policies that transcend just ethnicity. So we want to make sure, again, that opportunity for these kids are available to really focus on education and learning.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
I want to remind our viewers that the special district election will be Tuesday, May 18th. As with all elections in Oregon, we will vote by mail. The last day to register to vote is Tuesday, April 27th. Ballots will be mailed beginning Wednesday, April 28th, and must be received by Tuesday, May 18th at 8 p.m. Postmarks do not count, so please plan to mail early or use a drop-off site. Additional information about races and other election information is available at the League-sponsored website, vote411.org. Please be an informed voter and share this resource with your family and friends. This is Haley McLaughlin with the League of Women Voters of Portland. Thank you for joining us today.